podcast.
All right, welcome to Space Debris, everyone. We've got Kaz looking at a naked man in the distance. Apparently,
Wondering if I can hit him.
Apparently, yesterday was the Rust server wipe day. We're learning all about Rust here.
They're just a naked man laying
Well, that's like
flat,
the
sideways.
when they just start the game, right? That's how it starts. So they just started and didn't play or something.
Yeah, he's AFK. Because the game takes a while to load. Like there's a bit of a queue, so he probably waited like an hour. He probably walked away, went to play on his PlayStation or make some mac and cheese or something.
Wow, that's hilarious. You get the binocs out. Look at some naked men laying in the grass, in the low grass even. Yeah. Yo, that bear is gonna eat him up.
I think the bear's gonna eat that pumpkin there.
Can you lure the bear to that guy?
Oh, no, they actually nerfed the bears because there was an Arctic update and they introduced polar bears, which are way more aggro than the regular bears.
Oh, I bet.
While also reducing the aggro on regular bears. So the animals in this game are kind of potato. They just sit there sometimes.
They say in real life that's the only animal that would actually hunt a human being is the polar bear, supposedly.
They're hungry enough. Oh, look at all those nakeds. Look at all those nakeds on the beach.
Bodies.
What? So we're looking at 4 different naked men, maybe women, on the shore.
Let's go clean the beach. Let's go clean the beach up.
Dude, I like your
I guess there's
armor
nothing
there.
to loot there, huh?
Street sign warrior.
Yeah.
This is my shotgun traps. Whenever anybody tries to get close to my base, they just get shot. I wake up in the morning and they're empty, which is hilarious.
Do you get inspiration from like those post-apocalyptic movies? Because it definitely feels like that.
This game will teach you to just wall yourself in.
So when it hits the fan, we're all coming to you.
Yeah.
This is... Oh my
Just
goodness.
shooting people in the head, walking down the beach.
So what does
We'll
that
build
mean?
somewhere else.
Do they have to go back into like
Oh, shit.
queue? Uh-oh.
Oh, it's
Taking
a trap.
fire.
The dead bodies on the beach were a trap.
I don't know where that came from.
I saw
I
it
don't know
in
where that came
the
from.
tower to your right.
I hope it wasn't from there. Yeah, why are they shooting at me?
You know, it's just like Half-Life Alyx. That's how you get your health. Same exact deal. Like a little
Bleeding.
syringe into the wrist. I'm telling you, it came from that tower. Isn't that your tower?
This is mine, yeah.
Oh, it looked like it came from over there.
It did. It sure did.
Yeah, that's what happens when you decide to go outside in this game.
Man,
Somebody
it'd
steal your base or what?
Maybe it's frowned upon to do that. I don't know.
make me super anxious. I mean...
Yeah. It's your heart will start beating when you play this. But we're safe.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Jeez. What is
Oh,
that?
I like that. You got a torch tower with a little smiley face robot on it.
Oh, so if you need to, you can activate.
If anyone walks by that, they get lit up. Oh yeah, and I have this too.
That's what you
Nice.
sent me a clip of, right?
Yeah. Got all the radio stations.
Though, are those built-in radio stations, or can you load your own songs and shit on it?
You used to be able to use your own URLs, but they did away with that for reasons we can probably imagine.
Yeah.
Did that say NPR?
Yeah. There's like
What's
Radio
in
1,
internet
BBC
radio,
Radio
right?
1.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Dude, we
Yeah,
gotta
what are they
submit
doing?
the Space
NPR.
Debris RSS feed.
Of performing a part. And over the course of his career,
They're talking very
Career.
quietly.
Yep, that's NPR.
That's NPR.
So today we're gonna talk about disenfranchised youth playing Rust, murdering naked people on the beach.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back inside and grow berries, which takes like an hour, so I'll tab that.
Berries. All right. What did I see? I saw there was like a 40 person. Oh, let me close the stream. There was like a 40 person like battle royale at a Golden Corral. You know that place? They've got like chocolate fountains. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese without the games.
That's
Part
like,
of the Golden. What do you mean a 40-person battle royale?
isn't that where like Jeff Foxworthy tells you to eat?
Yeah, something like that.
Am I thinking of Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, same difference, I think. Hold on, let me see if there's a story about it. What did I say?
Did
Golden
somebody
Corral? It was in
take all the
Philadelphia.
chocolate out of a chocolate fountain?
Maybe.
Well, I think it was massive brawl. Here we go.
Was it a family who had to wait like 3 hours for a drink?
No, close though. This is January 31. All right. Let me share this. Yeah, yo, nice. I like that hat, Kevin. What were you saying? Ice Towers was the game?
Yeah, there was this game I used to play at the Vogue. It was called Ice. Like everyone downloaded it on the computer. It was called Icy Tower, and you were just like this like little dude in like a hat, and you'd the screen would like slowly pan up, and you had to like keep jumping up the platforms like before you fell off camera.
All right, hold on. Let me look at Icy Tower.
Yeah.
Oh, the hat. Yeah,
I guess
dude,
Ice
dead on.
Climbers is like that.
It's still
Yeah, I
up.
played it on
icytower.com.
Android before.
Excuse me.
Icy Tower, dude. Those fucking just seeing like the pictures of that just brings me back to like
Am I supposed to be playing
the
it?
first time I ever smoked weed or something.
The website's just the little picture of the guy. Do you see it?
I haven't found like a playable version of it. I've just seen screenshots.
Dude, it's up. Do you see this? Do you see my share?
Oh no! So I forgot I have to click on it.
I'm pretty sure that you can play it on Android in the Play Store.
Icy Tower.
This is all it shows. It's a little icon of the guy. This is
That's
icytower.com. I wonder why.
That's for real.
Play Icy Tower on Game Picks. What is this? Man. See, this is what kids find. Anytime I like let a kid onto a computer, like at my work or something, like a little kid, like, oh, here's a computer, go ahead. They end up on the most bizarre shit.
That used to be us.
That's true.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, that music.
Yo, this is edgy shit.
Well, that video's only a few years old.
Hip, 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 hip. Sounds like a ska song.
Yeah, I thought this was an Android game, but it's not. I looked it up. They got generic versions you can download, but not the original.
Icy Tower is a freeware computer game by Swedish game developer Free Lunch Design. It is a platform game set in a tower where the player's goal is to jump from one floor to the next and go as high as possible without falling and plunging off the screen. So it's like Mario without Bowser.
And it had like a cool there was like inertia to it, like where the way like if you ran too fast in one direction, you'd have to like. That's why he's just going straight up. Like that. Damn,
all right.
I'm remembering that though.
So the Golden Corral, Golden Coral, Coral. Coral.
Majestic.
Check this out.
Authorities continue to investigate an all-out brawl in Bensalem, Bucks County. They call themselves America's #1 buffet, the Golden
it's
Corral.
echoing.
But Friday night,
Holy
it seemed
shit.
like America's #1 free-for-all. More than 36 people were throwing fists and even throwing some chairs. Action News reporter Walter Perez is live outside
Chairs,
the Golden
baby
Corral.
Action News reporter.
Block of Street Road in Bensalem. Walter, what is the latest on all of this?
I thought he just called him a street rodent.
did a Zoom interview with someone involved in that fight.
Hey, you're getting
There's
echo
always
on your.
two sides to a
I think it might just be in Discord. I'm not.
Yeah, if it doesn't record like that, I can do it.
Oh, okay.
story.
I think it's good.
Sometimes three. But Alexis Rios did give us really good insight into exactly what happened. Action News spoke with one of the people at the center of this melee that erupted inside the Golden Corral
Look
in
at that,
Bensalem
man.
this past Friday
The
afternoon. Alexis Rios says it started over a misunderstanding.
The
regarding a
chandeliers
piece
are
of steak.
swinging.
Rios
Oh my
says
goodness.
The person in front of him
Piece
became
of steak.
angry
I
at the
knew
cook
it.
because
I
Rios
knew it'd be
received
over a
the
piece of steak.
first.
Was it overcooked?
I mean, they wasn't going to be.
I had a rare steak, which is a lot faster to cook than a well-done steak. That's why I got my steak first.
And Rios
Yo.
thinks part of the reason things escalated so
I knew you
quickly
wouldn't be
is
brawling
because
like
everyone
that
was
over some
mad.
He thought he
He
thought about-
believes the people involved had a hard time understanding what the others were saying.
Yo, why'd they get their steak first?
Nobody can hear.
Yo, why
so-
did they get their steak first, though?
There's a lot of commotion.
Rares cook quicker,
Are
sir.
talking. Nobody can hear nobody. You have to speak up loud.
Next thing you know, he says, that misunderstanding erupted into an all-out brawl.
I grabbed a chair to defend myself, and then sooner or later, that was it. Punches were getting thrown, chairs were getting thrown.
This guy seems
You
pretty
name
stooks,
it,
though.
You can call it
Like I'm watching
cups,
like a Nick
glasses,
Kroll show.
everything. You name it.
Officials from this Golden Corral franchise release a statement regarding the melee.
Still got a
reading in
busted
part,
nose.
"We
He
notified
looks like he'd be ready to brawl at any all you could eat
Yeah, I
buffet.
just I'd let that dude eat his steak. I wouldn't go near him.
Man. So
Yeah, you don't fight over no mac and cheese, that's for sure.
I would. Oh,
People are
depends on
nuts.
where. I'm curious. So, all right. So what I was saying is, we had a traumatic night, and
What was that about?
it could have potentially ended the same way as that Golden Corral story. So we got Smartless ticks, all right? They're doing a live tour. Smartless sold to Amazon for like $80 million, okay? Got all this money. They're like, oh, we're doing 6 shows or whatever. DC, New York, Boston was one of them. And they hyped it up like crazy. Like, oh, we got a mega super surprise guests at each show, and they didn't tell you who it was. So all along, Cheryl kept saying, oh, it's going to be Conan O'Brien. And I'm like, yeah, don't get your hopes up. It's probably not Conan. It could be. There's so many people it could be. We saw on Twitter the other day in DC, Will Ferrell was the guest. So you're like, oh, shit, Will
Oh,
Ferrell.
wow. Yeah, maybe it is Conan.
Dude, they've had George Clooney on the show. They've had David Byrne. They've had huge, as big as you get. So there's 2 shows in Boston. The 6 p.m., which is like early lame show that nobody can really go to, and the 9 p.m. Now, bear in mind, there was official government closures yesterday. There was non-essential people were supposed to stay home. No one's supposed to be on the roads. There's an ice storm. Everything was covered in ice. You could barely move without slipping. So, we're like, do we go? What do we do? We're not going to... There's people flying in from out of state. All right? There's people on Twitter like, oh, I'm flying in to Boston. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Everybody's all hyped. So we walk into the 9 p.m. We decided to go. We take the Uber, which was a treacherous ride. I thought we were going to die like 3 times. We get there. There's this guy on stage. We're like, who's this guy? And we don't recognize his voice, his accent. We missed like the intro part by a few minutes. He keeps talking. They're talking about AI. It's like a lame TED talk. And it's like boring AI, like not even like new anything. It's just like, yeah, AI is gonna be the future, and AI, and they're like, oh, interesting. I'm like falling asleep. It's okay, a couple jokes here and there. Anyways, and let's also just quickly mention the tickets go from, for a set of tickets like $300 to like hundreds to thousands of dollars. Some people bought $500 tickets that were like VIP packages where you like meet and greet or whatever the fuck else. You get a t-shirt. They're selling like $40 t-shirts in the lounge. There are also all these signs up everywhere that's like Discovery Plus might be filming. So you being here, you're admitting to being on film for Discovery Plus or whatever, you know. And I noticed there's cameras on the stage. In fact, Will Arnett spoke more to the cameras than the audience. Like he kept looking directly at a camera and being like, "Oh, you guys at home know what I'm talking about." Like, so whatever, you know, it's just a bad show. It was horrible, boring, not funny, very expensive, dangerous. A lot of people flew and were incredibly. Will Arnett's in Smartless. So Kev, just, yeah, I guess I should explain. So Smartless is Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, and Sean Hayes. It's their podcast. So it's two of Arrested Development. I mean, of course, I'm gonna be a huge fan.
Yeah.
Sean Hayes was the dude from Will and Grace. Here, let me. I'll share us.
Yeah, no, keep going though. I'm like dying to know where this is going. Like, cause.
So, anyways,
Did you get trolled?
Yeah, we got trolled. You summed it up. You know what it was? It was a cash grab. Wait a second.
Oh my god. You got the drop for that, right?
I do.
I was a fan.
Oh no.
When are you gonna get back to doing the fucking good shit?
I guess I don't have the
man.
cash grab one. Anyways.
Cash grab.
I'm sure I have it on the computer. I'll find it. But wait. So it is what it is. We're done. It's fucking a bit of a mess, nightmare. I won't get into the difficulties we had getting home. Uber surged up to $100. You know, where it's freezing out, it's sleet, there's rain, there's everything. Anyway, so we're willing to be like, you know what? It was just horrible. For whatever reason, he was an MIT professor. That was their mega super surprise guest for the 9 p.m. show. Guess who was the guest for the 6 p.m. show?
Conan O'Brien. You're kidding.
Conan O'Brien.
Oh, man.
So
Oh,
for 6 months, my wife goes on about, I'm telling you it's going to be Conan. I'm so excited. Oh my God, we're so excited. It's going to be the first time we ever get to see Conan. And we get there, we're fucking, who is this professor on stage? And it's boring ass AI, barely even talking about like news, using AI for the people. Like, great, that's cool, dude, but I paid like $400 to be here. Half the show was disrupted by people getting up and leaving. And these are people that had people. So afterwards, the tweet storm of, there's even a news journalist there from like the Channel 5 News, like a newscaster. She was picking up on it. Like, what the fuck did I just see? What just happened? And this is before most of the people don't at this point know Conan was the 6 p.m. guest. So we're just kind of like flabbergasted as to why is there a lecture going on right now that's not funny or interesting in the slightest. That doesn't even add in the burn of like, no, Conan O'Brien was here an hour ago. We know he tweeted like during the show, he went to a bar across the street. So he was there and he left. That means either Smartless and him got in like a fight and he was like, or it sucked and he was like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to leave. Fuck you guys. You do your own thing. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is they were so cheap, they didn't want to pay Conan for the second show. The third possibility is this was all for Discovery to make some shitty show, and they wanted each show to have a different guest or some bullshit. So they let Conan be the good guest at 6 p.m. By the way, which, Kevin, I don't know, you might know this. The early show always sucks. The late show's the good show.
Yeah, I think you might have nailed it there. Yeah, each show is going to be like an episode or something.
And that's what I mean. So Will Arnett
yeah.
kept looking at the cameras. They barely addressed the audience at all. And Will Arnett would like keep doing camera checks.
Dude.
And I'm like, what the fuck are we watching? I mean...
do you know what Conan talked about? Do you know what his content was? Was he funny or was he talking about nerdy shit?
No, I mean, even if it was nerdy shit, that's fine. It's fucking
it's
Conan
Conan.
O'Brien. But he's been a guest on the actual pod before anyways, too. So you can't be like, dude, why couldn't you do 2 episodes with Conan if you were filming? Who gives a shit about MIT professor talking about AI? Like, it's 2022. We don't know what AI is yet.
Yeah, I could understand if Conan O'Brien had to do something and maybe they switched schedules, but for him to be at the bar across the street during the middle of the second show doesn't make any sense at all.
That's what I mean. And like, if we knew that, we would have just went to the bar and hung out instead of going to that show, which, by the way, so the total length of the show was, I think, 50 minutes. No opener, nothing. Wow. 50 minutes. I think we paid like it was, I think, $300 for the 2 tickets. But there were tweets. If you go on Twitter and look up Smartless, hundreds of people. I flew in from fucking the middle of the country for this during a storm and got screwed. These are the people that had the 9 p.m. show. Could you imagine? There were people driving in from Maine, from New Hampshire, from out of state. Like, everybody was so excited because they kept hyping up their super special mega guests. Bear in mind, MIT is in Boston, down the street. They have free lectures every week. We could go to that anytime we want. So they gave the Boston audience a big fuck you, had a legendary comic genius, Conan O'Brien, there in their grasp, and then
Boston comic.
Oh yeah, Boston legend. He went to Harvard Lampoon. It couldn't. We're still like all night. We're like, what?
It really sucks. Whatever the reason is, that's bad luck for you anyway.
And the 9. If anything, you have the MIT guy at the 6. It makes no sense at all. So that's what I whittled it down to. I mean, we can't get over it. Like, it's either they got in some weird fight or Conan thought it was awkward and left. B, it was a Discovery Plus show, so they wanted each show to be a different thing. Not giving a fuck about the audience, how much money they paid to be there, how much danger and how long it took them to come in.
That? Why would you charge so much for that?
Dude, the free
MIT...
You
just need people in the back just to make it look like they're talking to someone. Like, they don't even care about you.
Yeah. I don't know. And they just got an $80 million check from Amazon and then did this. This is only a 6-show little tour. Like, this, it's insane. And it's just people. There's already a Twitter account called Fuck Smartless. There's people all over Twitter just destroying them. Like, what did I just see? What on earth did you do? We walked out midway through. We took off our VIP lanyards and threw them in the trash. I got like 10 people to like my tweet. I tweeted, how in the world do you have Conan O'Brien at the 6 p.m. show and some nonsense MIT professor, which, I have nothing against this guy, but we paid a lot of money at the 9 p.m. show. And how, so many people were dreaming like, oh, it's going to be Conan, it's going to be Matt Damon, only to be right that it was Conan, but they were like, fuck the 9 p.m. show. Let's go with the MIT professor because that's super interesting. They were even bored. Like, on stage. It was their audio is super low. I could hear the heater rumble. And this was at the Box Center, the Wang Theater. So, like, the nicest theater in town. Beautiful, beautiful theater. They somehow had horrible audio. And I literally, nobody's talking because everybody's half like, is somebody else coming? Is this like an intro? Like, it was a very, very awkward vibe. I could hear the heater rumble over them talking. And like even the MIT's the body language, he was just like sitting like completely like he's like a Dutch professor, so his accent was a little thick too. He's like, hey, it's the future, we're going to take over, it's going to be great, and we're going to use AI for the people, and I'm going to give it we're going to use it for news stories. You can see the bias in the news stories, and that was the show for about 45 minutes, and then they all stand up, and I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe that was like an intro, and they're bringing out the real guests, and then they're like, bye! That's how they end their show with this little bye thing.
For only 6 shows, a 6-part series, you would think that they would all be big, they wouldn't have any kind of lame performances for that.
Oh my god!
If I haven't seen the production for that, I'm gonna just know the whole time, like, the sons of bitches.
It's crazy.
Was
I'm
it-
telling you.
Was
What's
that
up?
Thursday or Friday?
It was last night, Friday night. Friday night.
Friday
9 p.m.
night,
show.
and they made I could understand it more on Thursday because people got to
course.
get up for work on Friday, but it's Friday night, prime time. Why the hell would they do that? That don't make a bit of sense.
So something either went wrong or they really were just like, fuck everyone. We don't care because we want to get a second episode of our little series that we're filming or something. I don't know. But I'm basically using this now to petition directly to Conan O'Brien to please do a Boston show on your own because no one gives a shit about Smartless anymore. We just want to see Conan.
Yeah.
I'm really... I already tweeted Conan. He's here now, just walking around somewhere. But, yeah, I think I'm going to open up, like, a petition. What is that? Petition.gov or something?
That's good. Yeah. What if he, like, responds with, like, a video?
I mean,
like,
I'll take it.
Like, addressing the people of Boston, fans of Boston.
I mean...
just goes into, like, a Conan... I mean, that'd be worth it, right? If you just did, like, a 5-minute, like, jokes. Just for you guys.
Anyone who knows Boston, right? So Conan must have been like... So wait a minute. Your next guest is an MIT professor for the 9 p.m. show, and I was the 6 p.m. show? You know you're in Boston, right? Boston doesn't let this shit go. They do not forget. And rarely forget.
Yeah, seriously.
So,
seriously.
Yeah, there's already news stories. Let me see if I can find an actual news story about it. But
I tried looking, but it almost seems like they might be trying to squash it or something.
Oh, it wasn't squashed on Twitter. Actually, yeah, I'll just go to Twitter.
Yeah, I was trying to look up Twitter. I was looking up Conan's feed to see if he had anything to say, but...
Well, Conan was tweeting from the bar that he was at.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to get into... Apparently, I have to log into Twitter. Oh, I got it.
Oh, and Cheryl just knew it was Conan. And I can't believe she got it right. That's so crazy.
For 6 months, this has been like a thing where I'm like, don't get your hopes up. It's probably not going to be Conan. You know, and at least, it'll at least be someone that we know walking in flabbergasted as like, who is this guy?
Have you looked at the previous shows, like what they did for 6 and 9 p.m. if they had like a shitty one and then a good guest? They ought to all be good guests. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It was only a 6 show and a 9 show. Conan's at the 6 show, MIT guy at the 9 show. That was it. And then DC was Will Ferrell. That's all I know. I think they're doing Brooklyn tonight. I guarantee you they're not having a fucking professor at the fucking Brooklyn show tonight. Here, watch. All right, I'm logged in to tweets. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and we can talk about that after Jackass. It's the #1 comedy podcast in the world. Okay, here we go. Right, I haven't even searched. All I searched was Smartless. This is Justin Brookings. I'm officially starting the Smartless Boston 9 p.m. support group. We all went through tragic event tonight, and we need each other. I'll start. My name is Justin, and I was excited about tonight's show. Smartless support group. Always remember, 9 p.m. Boston show.
Oh, man.
144 likes.
That's great.
10 retweets. Let's retweet it.
That's a lot.
I'm going to quote tweet.
Yeah.
We are recording a podcast about this right now.
That's great.
I was there as well.
Yeah. Just
A travesty is an understatement. We are dedicating this week's Space Debris Pod
Just plug it in there real quick.
trying to understand what the heck just happened. And then what was it? Smartless support group, hashtag Smartless support group. 10 tweets.
That's funny.
All right, we are recording a podcast about this right now. I was there as well. A travesty is an understatement. We are dedicating this week's Space Repod to trying to understand what the heck just happened. Oh, let me say. And the reasons behind it.
I think there was one more hashtag, but I can't remember.
Always remember 9 p.m. Boston.
Yeah.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, you'll have to click on those hashtags and see what they have to say.
All right, so let's see. See, and they all say sold out, mystery guests. And then there's pictures of... I hope they all decide to address this today. I know they aren't staying up reading up our comments, but so many of us expressed how upset we are that it has to be weighing on them. Hopefully they say something. When Jason said sometimes we're lazy and call our famous friends, but tonight we had someone actually smart, I thought, that's not why people listen to your podcast or paid money to be here. I am fuming. One of my favorite humans, Conan O'Brien, was on the 6 p.m. show, and we spent literally hundreds of dollars to attend an AI lecture on the 9 p.m. one. I am truly sad. The guest was Max from MIT. Nice guy. That's the thing. No one has a problem with Max. Just a 1-hour talk with the professor. No music from Sean. No fun guests. Nothing extra. My wife and I flew from Atlanta. We told way too many people we were going to the show. Now we feel stupid. Guys, I love you and your podcast, but your 9 p.m. show was a disappointment and fell off brand. We flew from Seattle just for this and are extremely disappointed. I saw these people. Took off our VIP lanyards in the middle of the show. Kept hoping you must have had a cancellation. I think I saw these people. I saw a whole group of people get up and throw some shit down and storm off. Yeah, the Boston show was disappointing. You saw, all I Googled was Smartless. I didn't even Google Boston or anything, related specific to the show. This is just Smartless. I'm telling you. And there's one verified person. I bet you I could find it. Oh, see, look, there's Conan. That was show 6 p.m. Some crappy shows.
The Wilbur. Yeah, man. The Wilbur.
No, this is the Box Center, the Wang Theater.
Oh, the Wang Theater. Okay, yeah.
So, it's very expensive. What the heck? How do you go from Will Ferrell to Conan O'Brien to that dude? My parents drove 5 hours to watch my kids so my husband and I could see the show and paid a hefty price.
Brilliant, yet who dat?
That's the thing. You don't want to shit on this.
Well, you said you can go see a lecture in Boston anytime, right?
Exactly. For them, maybe it's a treat. And they even addressed it during the show. They were like, oh, we figured Boston's, an intellectual enough audience to appreciate this. And some sort of lame excuse yeah, dude, these are all here in Boston. We're in Boston. Right, we don't come to Smartless so you to tell us about Boston. It'd be like bringing a fucking cosplay Benjamin Franklin on stage to tell us about the Freedom Trail, which probably would have been more entertaining. We truly love you and your podcast, but the 9 p.m. show on a Friday wasn't justified. The initial first half felt like a joke, thinking the real guest is yet to come. Although the guest was nice, but not worth any money. And this was their whole setup here. Just that.
Dude, you realize a flight from Seattle, that's $600-700. They probably spent over $1,000 to see that.
This is the guy. Thank you. Here's my wife and I pre-show happy. We were so young and naive.
God, man. And that's what sucks too. Everyone loves Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and the fucking everyone involved. But it's why did you do this to us?
So with cost to get there, with the tickets, with cost to get home, which was a nightmare because there was Uber fucked up. So it's raining and sleeting out. I'll pull this back up in a minute. Wait, what was that other one? Love you guys, but 9 p.m. show is terrible. Drove 3 hours in snow sleet to watch an MIT. Oh yeah, and I agree. It would have been much better if the three of them just interviewed each other. They are hilarious. I love them, but I am so disappointed.
That's what I was about to say. It'd probably be better just them without the guy. I mean,
Well,
at
so
least
of
it'd
course,
be.
the first thing I thought, like, I would have preferred just no one and let them talk, like, because they were all just kind of staring at him as they were talking. Then it turned into an Elon Musk circle jerk about midway through, where they were talking like, we need more Elons in the world. It's like,
Oh,
hey, yeah, Elon's a little bit
Gary.
like, we're paying money to have you tell us that we need more Elons in the world, like. But with Uber fucked up, we walked away from the Wang, like we got like 5 minutes away because the surge pricing jumped to over $100. So we're walking through the freezing rain, sleet, snow. We finally get an Uber at the theater, like a movie theater that's like 5 minutes down the road. Uber glitched, drove us back to the box center, charged us $25 to drive us 1 minute down the street. The guy
Well,
was
they
like
should.
confused. The driver was like,
It's their fault.
yeah, but the driver was like, "Oh, you're gonna give me a load?" I'm like, dude, we gotta get out of here. It's freezing. It's like midnight. So then we get off again at the second time at the box center after paying for an Uber to drive us back after just walking away from 5 minutes, and we ended up just running to the train station for warmth. And we took the train, halfway, and then got off at like, 15 minutes away, and then we took an Uber from there home. But the whole night probably cost me $1,000 or so with Uber fees and tickets and this and that. And it ends with literally feeling like you just got like punched in the gut or slapped in the face. And literally it's been a dream of ours. I mean, I have everything Conan I get for Cheryl. We're like Conan fans forever. We've tried to see him so many times. And like I said, 6 months of her saying, it's going to be Conan, I'm telling you. And I'm like, no, don't get excited. It's not going to be Conan. It'll be someone cool. But it might be Conan. Who knows? But don't get excited. So not only was she correct, it was Conan. But for the 6 p.m.
she was.
show.
Yeah. That's like, it's like you almost like wish you were wrong. Like, wish I wasn't right about it being Conan.
You have
Like,
no idea. So then that's when I started saying that. Like, think about it. If we went in and what if it was maybe the first show was bad, or maybe it was so awkward and that's why he didn't do the second show, or who knows?
I'm sorry to say, but with Conan, I'm sure it was a great show. I hate to say that, but I'm sure it was a great. You can't fail with Conan.
Well, you can
can't
check out.
stay serious for too long.
No.
Like, he's
And that's what I
guaranteed
mean.
funny.
In Boston, to have Conan there, to let him go, and just say a big F you to everyone in that 9 p.m. I would love to hear why. I mean, do you guys think that sounds right? Like because I can't stop thinking about like the possible reasons Conan would do a 6 p.m. and not the 9 p.m. A, some sort of fight, awkwardness, and he didn't feel comfortable doing a second show. B, they're filming a Discovery Plus special or something, and they wanted each show to have a unique guest, which is a big fuck you to everyone that's paying to be there. Or C, I forget what my C was.
I'm sure
it was they were episodes, and each one had to be different.
Yeah, that was B.
Did you say that already?
Well, that was the same thing as B there. But
Or they didn't
I
want
would
to pay.
imagine.
They were cheap.
They didn't want to pay Conan for 2 shows.
It sounds like some like kind of Hollywood bullshit. Like that's the thing. I mean, it's like, you love like Warren at those guys, but they're all A-listers. Like there's gonna be some Hollywood nonsense going on.
Well, and it kind of what I really wanted to pull this into was a discussion on the podcast boom, and we've got Smartless, which is great, and they even admitted like all Smartless was Jason Bateman's COVID project. So all of Hollywood had to figure out shit to do during COVID, right? When we were in lockdown. And it was pretty clever. You know, Bateman was like, hey, I talk to Will and Sean all the time. Why don't we do a podcast? And, you know, a year later, they're selling it to fucking Amazon for $80 million, where we have podcasters that have been doing podcasts for 10 plus years that don't get the attention or anything that they get, you know. And It's Always Sunny too, you know. I'm not taking anything bad about It's Always Sunny. The It's Always Sunny podcast is hilarious. It's so friggin' good. But it's, again, all it takes is some big Hollywood or big successful show to be like, hey, let's do a podcast. And overnight, they're the number one podcast in the world, getting all these multi-million-dollar deals. And I think Joe Rogan was kind of like a signal to everyone, like, hey, there's money here. Hey, there's money. You want money? You know? And
I think the pandemic was just such a perfect time for podcast. I think that's what really made it boom, you know. And of course, there's money in it, but you're probably right about Joe Rogan being the example, the front runner of making money. But
yeah, it was a rough show. I mean, you saw the Twitter, right? Like, I'm not blowing this out of proportion, I don't think, at all.
I think if Conan like just addressed it, at least, like, it would make everyone feel a lot better. I don't think it would like make up for everything, but I think you'd feel better than you do now. Because, like, dude, I watched him on Clicky Knob TV.
Oh no, it's not Conan. This is not Conan's fault.
Yeah, I know, but it's the feeling, like the disappointment. It's like, I'm feeling it for you.
That's what I mean. You have to think Conan. So let's say they weren't paying him, or they were like, yeah, thanks, Conan, we're going to the 9 p.m. show. He probably looked at them like, wait a minute, what are you guys doing for your 9 p.m. show? Really? Like, are you trying? Right. Like, yeah, like, how could anyone with half a brain not be like, whoa, you can't do that, or you're not gonna like the results of that. So I would love to have been a fly on the wall to see the discussion with Conan as to why he left, or why they didn't. Like, if anything, you would think of, like, pay you double to stay for the 9 p.m. please, because we're gonna get frickin' roasted and everyone's gonna hate us.
Well, it may actually be tied into more like what Kevin said about, Hollywood A-listers having bullshit problems. They could have just scheduled it for one show, and then they couldn't work out the contract agreements between the second show, some kind of bullshit like that.
Conan doesn't care. Conan's great. He's
You wouldn't think.
Conan literally went to a bar.
But it's like not enough
the street.
people. Like, how many people were at the show? Like, how many tickets were sold?
Oh, it was sold out.
Like, it's like no, because like it's like, I'm just saying, like, on the scale of thing, like when they have like millions of fans, like millions and millions of fans, and it's like, oh, this one room of people isn't gonna like us. Like, they probably just don't care. I mean, I'm not saying they probably don't care, but like, it's a possibility that like they're just that Hollywood and that like stone cold like business,
which
bottom
is just
line
nuts, especially where it should have really been postponed, because there was an official stay in place. Non-essential people should not be, like, my work was closed, everything was closed. So even just going there, you were risking your life, literally. And during the 9 p.m. show, Conan tweeted that I just got handed a note at MJ O'Connor's, some bar in Boston. Good to know my podcast army includes the great people at Newton Wellesley Hospital. So he was at some bar by the Newton Wellesley Hospital during the 9 p.m. show. So he was there, he was around. The question is, and I'm sure in here, all of the people are saying, well, yeah. People just begging him to meet up or run into him.
Do you know at the Washington show, I noticed that they've only done one show before this prior before this show, and you said Will Ferrell was there. Was he there for both the 6 and the 9 p.m. show?
I don't know for certain. I do not know.
I was trying to look that up to see what they did on that previous show.
I was curious as well. But I don't know, man. It was literally like, I'm trying to think, you know, and I played a lot of shows. I've been to so many concerts and performances and events. We go out a lot. Like we just saw Sal Volcano live, Eric Andre a few months back, Chrissy D, Chris Stefano, Colin Quinn we were at like a week ago. Colin Quinn by himself were $30 tickets, and it was phenomenal. This show might be the worst. So even skipping, forget about Conan was the 6 p.m. guest. Let's just look at the 9 p.m. show. One of the worst I don't even know what it was. Like fuck it, we'll do it live. There's no words there. Like there's no show there. There's no show. There's no people. Like there's no talk. It was a horrible performance. Like literally. So I think it's going down in history as the worst thing I've ever witnessed. And
worst podcast of all time.
I mean, by
Just
far
show,
the worst podcast.
you mean.
I'm talking about any, like, you go to some experimental
Live
art,
show, yeah.
experimental art shows with people like smudging hearts with like turds on the wall. Probably more interesting than the show we got. And like the brevity, the quick, like as soon as he was done, like they kind of rushed him off, like almost mid conversation at the end. And that's why you thought like, oh, okay, here's a real guest coming. Oh, was that a doggy?
No, I got my popper back.
Oh.
Yeah,
I asked you
right.
what poppers last week. So did you just get that recently?
Yeah, I found one plain enough that I just bought it, and it also glows in the dark.
Glow in the dark popper, nice.
Dude, I gotta get a
It's
popper.
I think it's funny that they're at, like, you can get them at gas stations. Like, do people call gas stations like, yeah, do you have poppers?
Back in the day, poppers had a different meaning. Right? Where wasn't poppers like an anal?
So, hey, I was gonna ask you, that thing that you saw, was it worse than like Creed and like 2004?
Probably.
That event, it passed when he was like he like sang like one song and he was so drunk that he just like passed out on stage and like.
Here, let's look it up. I'm gonna
It's my favorite disaster. It's my favorite like live music disaster ever.
Okay, so what was it? Creed?
Yeah, you know Scott Stapp, like the Christian rock band or whatever.
Yeah. But 2004 show?
I think it was 2004. It was like early 2000. It was early enough that like cell phone cameras weren't really a thing yet, so there's no like videos of it. But if you look at like there's like those websites that show you like the playlists that like bands did on concerts. You can, if you look that one up, it's like there's like 2 songs because he just like passed out drunk, and it was like, you know, an arena show, like an arena.
I'm trying to pull it up. I realized though Discord might be. Can you guys see my screen when I do this?
Yes.
Because on my end, oh frig, I think it's pausing.
Oh, 2002 Allstate. 2002 Allstate Stadium, Chicago.
All right. It keeps giving me this stupid thing. Let me
they
pull
did
it
a final
up.
show at Chicago's Allstate Stadium on the 29th, a performance that has gone down in many books as one of the absolute worst performances ever done by a major label band.
I don't know.
Did you see that video of Smash Mouth singing at like, I don't know if it was a wedding or a beer fest or what it was, but he was like just wrecked and he was like cussing the crowd and everything. This happened recently within the past year.
Yeah. That all sounds way more fun to me. That sounds way more fun to me. Or even the
at least
pre-show.
it's some kind of entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch Afro Man like throw a chick off stage.
Those didn't. The preceding wasn't like 6 months of anticipation and teasing of these mega amazing celebrity guests. You know.
Yeah, I was just reading an article about it, and it said the featured guest that they've had is Paul McCartney, George Clooney, Jennifer Aniston, Camellia Harris. Of course, I don't know if anybody wants to say that. Adam Sandler, Billie Eilish, Stacey Abrams, Tina Fey, and Bryan Cranston. And then your guy, well, you don't even know his name.
Yeah,
At least Camilla Harris is.
We listened to the
I thought I was
podcast.
going to see Paul McCartney, and I saw Camilla Harris. I'd be pretty mad.
Yeah, that would. I mean, I know she's popular, but
The guests they've had
for a different day.
Yeah, the guests they've had on the pod are insane, and that's why they even hyped it. And we're like, oh, we're gonna have mega, big, giant, super special, secret guests. And if they had at least said, hey, this is the 9 p.m. guest in advance, like who's, by the way, not known or anything, we would have just stayed home. You know, that's on top of that, we lost the whole night. Like we could have had an early night, chilled out, not endangered our lives in horrible weather.
I can't believe how much it costs to go see them. That's an outrageous price.
That's the deluxe, like the nicest theater in Boston. It's the Box Center Wing Theater. Like any high-end performance. We actually got to see Trent Reznor there like a couple of years ago, and it was amazing.
Oh wow!
But it's a beautiful, beautiful theater.
I still have a soft spot for that asshole.
Yeah, of course.
Playing Quake the other day on my Switch.
Wow. Yeah, all right. We could stop with Smartless. We're literally traumatized. I hate to say that, but
that was just last night, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fresh. That's definitely a weekend ruiner.
The only good thing was coming home, and just seeing everybody else like just as like baffled as us, because that's at least we're not like off key here. Like it was a slap to the face.
Yeah. I hope that like if you get like an acknowledgement at least from Conan O'Brien, that would just make it better. It wouldn't fix it, but
or just do a live show. Conan's got a project coming up on HBO. He signed on to, so he's got stuff to promote, and he has his own podcast, which is awesome. Team Coco. He has a whole production. He has multiple. He does a JB Smoove podcast. They produce podcasts.
Yeah. But this isn't really on Conan, though. It's not really Conan's fault. Probably not. This is probably the Smartless.
But the point is, I don't care about Smartless anymore. All we want is Conan. So we're like begging Conan, do a show so we can go see you and put this behind us. Like, forget about Smartless. Conan. We're done with them. Conan, we have and always will love you and want you to do a show in Boston. And I guarantee you, everyone that was at that 9 p.m. show would be there.
Yeah, we'll Conan's the best.
We're gonna push for it. But anyway, so
does he not go on tour?
He did. I think when he ended when the Tonight Show ended, he did a tour, and they made a documentary about it called like "Can't Stop." Conan O'Brien Can't Stop, and he did like.
I remember that.
Yeah, the documentary's great. He did like some music, and he did some comedy and a little bit of interviews. But he doesn't regularly do shows,
Yeah, he's doing a thing right now. I noticed that on his Twitter, something about Netflix is a joke. It's some show called Netflix is a joke. So I guess it's probably for Netflix, but he's going to be in California on May 4th.
That's like Netflix's like YouTube thing. Netflix is a joke. They make fun of themselves. But so that's when we get home, the new show Welcome to Murderville, which is Will Arnett's new show. The first guest of the show is Conan O'Brien. So we're like, okay, we can't watch that because we're like traumatized right now. We're looking for stuff to watch last night to wind down. We go to put that Murderville featuring Will Arnett and Conan O'Brien. I'm like, oh, you fuck. And then I go to we're in the new season of Ozark. It's fucking Jason Bateman. God damn it. Then we're just going through show after show, and it's like there was nothing we could do to get away from the trauma of that night. There was something else too. I forget what it was. But
Trailer Park Boys.
Then he was going to watch Will and Grace, and then that dude showed up. Wasn't that what he was on? Something like Will and Grace?
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what he was on the other day when I was trying to look it up.
Just unreal. I'm like punch drunk over it. And I'm telling you, when I woke up for the podcast today, I was like I was having fucking fever dreams or like nightmares about it. I don't know. Oh my god.
Well,
But anyways,
I'm curious about the VR experiences that Kevin has got to try since he's got his Quest working.
yeah, you were playing Beat Saber at the start, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you said like to like get one game and like stick to it. I kind of did that.
Good.
And I was saying,
Oh, is that
earlier,
all you
like,
played?
pretty much, yeah. And I mean, I'll probably buy like a new game today, but like I've been not only have I been playing that, but I've just been sticking to like certain songs to the point where like I can almost play them blindfolded, and it's like just the best when you can like just
Exactly.
Like you don't even have to try sometimes.
It gets so rewarding, and you feel like Iron, like Superman, like a ninja, like look at me, like I can do this.
But I'm saying like it's like I could like cut a bullet in half with like a sword if I had one. Like you can.
There is a game that
Yeah,
you can do
arms.
that against.
Yeah.
There's a kind of Beat Saber clone, not clone, but very wannabe Beat Saber game against your fan, Nick, right? Remember? That's
Yeah, it's pretty
Joyway.
cool, yeah.
Joyway is the developer.
Yeah.
They make this game against, and it switches between you have to slice guys in certain directions, and then guys will have helicopter hats and they float in the air and shoot at you, and you have to shoot their bullets away.
Yeah.
I think that came
it's
out on
really
Quest.
cool. I'm pretty sure it did.
But yeah, man, that's what I mean. Like, how long have I been doing VR? 4 or 5 years. I'm still doing Beat Saber. I'm still doing Pistol Whip. You know, that's how. You know,
like I love it. I love it on a level that I like Rocket League. Like the amount of how much I play that. Like the fact that you can just grab it, and just like it goes to sleep. You don't even turn it off. Like I plug it in, I charge it all the way up, unplug it, I just pop it on. I hit restart on the last song I was just on, and it just immediately like you can just immediately start playing it.
And just wait until you start getting custom maps where you can. I downloaded like 15 new maps last night before the show.
Custom maps.
Ton of good.
I
new
couldn't
maps
imagine a
out there.
game without custom maps. I mean, it just makes the game.
See, Kev, that's what ends up keeping me playing. So every night when I open up Beat Saber, I first go to the new song browser and I look through all the new map uploads. There's probably 50 maps uploaded a day. So I'll just look through and, okay, I want this one, that one, that one. And then I end up playing new songs every single night.
That's how he grows his pee-pee.
But I stay
exactly.
Your points that they got a running score on a global leaderboard, and they call the points pee-pee.
For maps to get ranked, it takes a bit, and there's a whole process. So if you're downloading like fresh new maps, none of them are going to be ranked yet. So I'm not a PP farmer.
Let me tell you a little bit about some adoption here lately. I don't know if I don't think yins are big on Twitch, really. Do you watch much Twitch at all?
Not
I used
so
to.
much. Yeah.
I'm familiar with a lot of the names on there. Yeah.
Well, there's this Korean streamer that's really popular. Her name is Jenny TTY, and she likes to. She does a lot of traveling. She'll go from state. She'll be in one state one day and another state the next day, going to theme parks and whatever. She's a fantastic streamer, and
cool.
she just got she just went back home to Korea. And she's in quarantine, and her chat talked her into getting VR, so she went and got an Oculus Quest, and she has like 6,000 or 7,000 people following her. Whenever she streams, she's pretty big.
She's playing right now.
Yeah, she was.
Really?
I was watching it.
Right
yeah,
now. Yeah, she's live.
Yeah, she's playing it right now, and but she's got into VR, and also there's a lady named Amaranth. That's a really huge. She's like one of the biggest Twitch streamers there are.
We're big Hassan fans, so we know Amaranth through Hassan.
Yeah, she's.
I don't know her from any other way.
Yeah, well, I know her from a bunch of ways, but she didn't actually get VR yet, but she played VR chat the other day, desktop version. Yeah, they did like this. Yeah, well, they did like this,
She's perfect for VR chat. I would think she'd be into that.
Yeah, she did really well. Somebody in VR chat invited her to do like a dating simulation type thing, and these people would go up and do a talent show for her, and she had to choose which one was her favorite. And it was a really good skit they
So
did there.
what did you do for the talent show part, Nick?
Oh, I didn't enter in the contest,
I know.
but there was a pickle. There was a pickle that was reading her poems,
Dude,
and
there's always
he
pickles
come
in
in.
VR chat.
I know it. And whenever they were eliminated, they had to jump into a fireplace. That was the rules. And they were standing right beside the fireplace. Well, this pickle,
It's like
he
some
ended
Squid
up giving
Games.
yeah, he got eliminated second to last. And whenever he jumped into the fireplace, he changed his character over to a red pickle and started crawling towards Amaranth on the floor there, saying he was going to kill her or some shit like
Wow.
that. It was pretty great, but I think she's going to get into VR soon, so that's some good people for adoption there.
Wow, yeah, that'd be huge if she starts doing VR. I mean, she's gonna find a way, like she's just gonna have herself modeled in, because like that's why most of the people watch her. They don't want to see her as a pickle. They want to see her as her.
Yeah.
So she'll probably just get
Well,
like herself animated.
She
you know,
told on a stream the other day, she said she had like 4 assistants. So I'm sure
yeah.
she could get somebody to model her.
Well, they did.
Yeah,
Was it Vice? Somebody did a little behind the scenes thing with her. I think it was Vice. And it was they were showing her, you know, what her setup's like, what her day is like, how much work goes into it. It was really interesting.
Oh,
she's
a hard-working lady.
Sure, it was Vice. And
yeah,
I would play it, but I think Vice will come at us for it.
You know, I don't know if she's, worked hard enough to make $50 million or not, but she works very hard for sure. But I think I seen the other day she was worth like $50 million.
Yeah.
From twitching.
Doesn't she have like an OnlyFans too, I think?
I think she does either that or is there another one? I guess it is OnlyFans. Or is it Patreon? See. I'm not for sure.
Is that girl?
Yeah, I think it is OnlyFans.
I'm checking.
You're talking about Sniper Wolf?
No, Sniper Wolf's
Amaranth.
Different, I think.
Dude, that girl's got like she gets like bigger numbers than PewDiePie used to get.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sniper Wolf.
This Amaranth's really
Amaranth's
popular.
On OnlyFans.
Is she?
Nude full vid coming. Last chance to get the discount.
Not all shit on OnlyFans is nude. Pro tip.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm pretty sure hers is.
Dude, Louis Rossman's on OnlyFans.
Oh,
I read an article. I read an article about her one time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And she said that she didn't want to change over to, I guess, OnlyFans. And she said she lost out on millions of dollars because she was trying to keep down to one profile. I guess she was on Patreon and then she moved to OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And she said she lost a lot of money because she didn't make that move, but I guess she got it now.
Yeah, she's on there. I mean, at least it's showing up, unless they're like fake things. But it says OnlyFans.com, OnlyFans Amaranth. Yeah, man, she's on there. She's got 773.2 thousand likes, 762 posts. Yeah, and she has a coupon right now for 55% off for 28 days. So until February 8th, which is about when this podcast will come out, you can subscribe. You get a 55% off Amaranth's OnlyFans. Just for any interested parties.
Oh, now that's a deal. That's a deal.
Seems complicated.
Is Louis Gomez, what's his name? Fucking
Louis J. Gomez.
Yeah, is he still doing his OnlyFans? He stick with that?
Puerto Rican rattlesnake, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he like quit the Legion of Skanks just to do that.
Oh man, Puerto Rico. Speaking of Puerto Rico, so Chris Stefano is saying he's going to go film his special in Puerto Rico because his girlfriend's Puerto Rican and his kids are half Puerto Rican, so he's just going to go to Puerto Rico and film a stand-up special.
Oh yeah, he'll probably destroy too.
Yeah. Well, he said he's going to dress in all white and get like a Puerto Rican straw hat, like go out on the beach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cabana wear.
Yep. It's a good move. But all right, let's wrap for the day. I'm still like, I feel like my head was like, rung like a bell.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I'm gonna spread the word too. I'll mention that to everyone I see.
There was I'm telling you, it was like Channel 5, like a newscaster, like a lady that presents the news. She was there. She's a verified blue check on Twitter, and she was even tweeting like, "What did you guys just do?" She was at the 9 p.m. show. So I'm pretty sure this is going to become a news story, you know? Or at least I'm hoping.
Insane.
We'll push
yeah,
that way.
I gotta cost that much money. That's fucked. And people flew in from Seattle, dude. The girl who flew in from Seattle probably spent like almost $2,000.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Oh, yeah. And there were people saying I had a hotel room for 2 nights because of this, and that's not even including the treacherous conditions of the road, the danger, and it really is just like what the fuck are you thinking? Like, really?
not a good time to be messing with people.
Yeah. I mean, and people are broke. People, worried about going out because of COVID. A, worried about weather. B, like there's so many different things going on. And then you finally get there and you walk into this boring ass lecture. And even you could tell, even they were like, it was weird, man.
It reminds me of like you ever seen that show News Radio where like Jimmy James is like hyping up like his friend who's like a business
Of course, Jimmy
genius.
James is my favorite.
But he's like hyping this dude up like he's like this business genius. Like when you hear this guy talk, like you're not even gonna believe it. And he comes in and the guy's just like, yeah. So I think in the future everything's gonna be done with computers. He's like, that's it.
That is about what he was saying with AI. It was like, and I'm fairly in the AI space, VR, AR, like, it's all involved. And it was just like, maybe it would have been interesting in like 2010. It was like at that point, like he was talking about using
That's
AI.
That's not what you're signing up for.
Exactly.
You're signing up for comedy.
And
did you see
big celebrity mystery guests, super guests?
Did you see the Boston Dynamics robots on Tonight Show?
When? Just recently?
Yeah, it was like the other night. They were like dancing. There were like 3 of them,
God.
and they did like a dance. Yeah.
No, I didn't see that. We got to check that out. Maybe we'll play that next week or something. I had a few.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a whole slew of things I wanted to talk about this week. I was like, oh, but we'll just go in.
That's good. Yeah, so we missed a week. We didn't even acknowledge that. I felt bad for that, but
we didn't because we had one podcast backup.
Dang. Nice.
So we released it. It was called Baby Glasses on Wednesday.
Nice.
So we're not missing anything. We'll get our second one. We'll get a next one banked next week or something. I would say today, but I'm shooketh. I figured
have to keep up with that story.
Yeah, I figured at least the pod, the event, the trauma. I will at least make something out of it with this podcast. We'll put it to use and get it out. Get my frustration out, and I'm gonna bring it. This is gonna be tagged in that Smartless support group, so they're gonna see a whole podcast dedicated to the fuckery that.
Oh, you should make a TikTok, a little TikTok showing disappointment some way.
Good idea.
Expecting right. Conan got, and then something shitty.
Yeah, like those meme layouts.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Adele got into some hot water just recently over canceling the show. It's like her first show that she was going to do in years. Yeah. Yeah, and people flew from like out of country to go see it, and she canceled. Yeah,
there was a lot of that. I saw Chris DiStefano did the same thing. He had a show the same night, actually, at Atlantic City. He went there. He drove there. A bunch of fans showed up. They canceled the show and they didn't tell anybody.
Oh man.
He ended up just drinking with some of the fans at the bar. So there's
probably
a lot
heard
of
funnier bits at the bar than you would in front of a camera.
Well, that's what he said. He apparently got really drunk. And Jazzy was there, his girlfriend, and she was like hitting on women and like touching people, and they all got really sloppy, and it got really weird. And he said, like, I think I made a mistake because now half the people canceled their tickets and they got a better show for free. Yeah, so it's just me on the raw end with a horrible show, right? But, all right, we'll call it. We'll
If
call it
only
a
you
week.
known, you could have hit the bar up.
We said that. Would have preferred to just go stand outside a bar looking for even like a silhouette of Conan than what we sat through.
For sure.
All right, guys. Let's call it. Hope you guys are well. We'll catch up. We'll catch up over the week, and we'll do something a little bit more expansive and interesting next week.
All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good to see you guys again. We'll catch up next time.
All right, yeah, and I promise I'll be over it by then.
Yeah.
All right, everyone.
Yeah, we'll see if my base is still standing in this crazy.
Still
server.
killing naked people.
Oh, true.
Dude,
Yeah.
There's like 350 people like still on the server. Like the last server I was playing on had like 80 people.
Oh man.
There was 450 people on when it started yesterday. It was just an absolute nightmare shit show.
So wait, if you die, you're out?
Well, if you die, you have to you respawn naked somewhere. But once
that
you
means 100
build
people just
like
screw it.
Yeah, well, once you build your base, you put a sleeping bag in it, and then you respawn on the sleeping bag. So you have to it's almost like when you're like, if you're surfing, like when you're paddling out, like past the breakers, and like once you get past, like it's like, you're in the ocean, but you just keep getting pushed back before then. Like, yeah.
So
if
you didn't make a base in a sleeping bag before you got killed, you're out of that server.
You're not out of the server, but you just respawn on the beach
with
naked, next to a base like mine with a maniac who just goes out and kills you. It's me with a shotgun.
I've heard it's really hard to get started in Rust.
And have on
somebody
phone.
Last night, that airlock trap I showed you, like somebody like got shot by my shotgun trap, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm not dead, fucker," and I open the door and they're just sitting there, and I just take out a knife, walk up to him, and just stab him.
Oh
and
man!
Up with a cloth. Like, I'm gonna feed you to my horses.
That's like the Black Knight, like Monty Python shit. Like he cut his leg off, and he's like, yeah, that's all you got.
It's comedy world. It's like, because it's just funny that he just gets to respawn again and then come back and give me more shit if he wants to. Like,
yeah. Maybe we'll.
Yeah, the metaverse is just a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like MMOs? They got that new game Zenith. That's real popular. Zenith, yeah, it's real popular. I don't know if it's. I think it's on Quest.
I'll check it out. Yeah, no, Quest MMO definitely. Because I used to play
huge.
WoW.
It's huge. It broke. Apparently, it beat God of War. It beat Dying Light 2, which I want to check out.
It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it more and more as I play. It's pretty good.
I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, maybe I'll just get that. Damn.
You need to get Pop 1 though. Population 1.
And I told you, wait.
Yeah.
I already messaged you, Kev. Get Pistol Whip, and I'll send you money because there's some very secret stuff going on right now in Pistol Whip that I'm not at liberty to discuss. But within a certain time frame, I will be able to discuss, and we're going to do a special whole podcast dedicated to it. So I got to get you in there so you're familiar with
Pistol Whip. It's amazing though. It's a fantastic game. It really is.
Yeah, I'll check that out next. That'll probably be my next Beat Saber.
All right, yeah, it will. I'll just text me because I will PayPal for you. I want to buy it for you. Okay, I consider myself like a delegate, a representative of the Pistol Whip lollipop world, and I will be happy to bring you into that world. All right. All right.
I'm
Let's
gonna
reel
go
in.
I'm gonna go buy manga and return something at Hot Topic. That's literally my plans for today.
All right, guys.
Amazing. As always. All right, guys. Be well.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Space Debris Podcast.